So I've had a couple, I don't know, been a couple months, month and a half or something since I posted something about the rabbit. As you can see, that's not a rabbit. Been staying busy with a project for my dad a little bit. He just spent a while down here helping out, which was fun. So this is his 1985 K30. It's a CUCV M1008, a military square body Chevy pickup. It's a single cab long bed for anybody who doesn't know. Came with a 6.2 diesel and a TH400. It was a very solid, very nice truck. Really minimal rust work, which is surprising and nice. It was everything he wanted until he bought it, and then we're changing everything. But you know, that's how it all goes for everybody. So as you can see, there's no body on it. Him and I pulled the body, pulled the engine, pulled the trans, pulled everything, just down to frame rails, and anything that could unbolt from them was gone. We stripped it all down to bare metal, took the factory shit off, what was left of it. It was in very good shape, but we chassis savered it all, made it look nice. These military trucks only came with one tank from factory, so we got some brackets for the passenger side to add a second tank, which, you know, C30 dualies and stuff like that came with. A lot of trucks came with. I ended up going with an off-road designs, 6-inch lift. We don't know what we're gonna do for tires yet, but obviously bigger than these 31s. Stripped the axles down, painted the axles. It's just been a slow restoration situation, if you know what I'm saying. You know, and it looks good. Came out pretty nice. 2-wheel drive steering box under there to do the high steer stuff. Like I said, 2 new fuel tanks, but we're gonna splice them in instead of using the factory stupid crossover valve. So we're running 2 Beans diesel mini sumps. That should help a lot. Should be a stout little truck for them. You know, naturally, the 6.2 is great. I actually picked this truck up in Massachusetts from his house and put a trailer on the back of it and threw a Mark 6 Golf on the back and towed it all the way home. And the truck, physically, maybe that's not the right word. The truck did okay. The driveline did great. Everybody complains about how these things are dogs. I was doing 70, 75 the whole way, just fine. But whatever, you know how it is. So he picked up 160 horse, 12 valve, and an NV 4500 that we're gonna be throwing behind it. Picked up an NP 205 so we can have a twin stick transfer case. It should be pretty cool. I hesitate there on saying the truck made it okay because it was quite a journey, as it always is. Oh, maybe we'll get into that. That said, being that it was a single tank, we had to change the bedside a little bit. So I had to cut and graft a fuel door in, and it came out pretty good. Let me swap the camera around here. Came out very fair for what it is. See if I can get some light on it. The bed originally had bed liner up at the top, and it just looked like ass. And it's not even nice bed liner. And not only is it not nice bed liner, they did it extremely poorly. Tape line was just wavy, and they didn't care. So this thing was a military truck. And then it went to Walters, Mississippi, and became a brush truck. So I taped that midline off. I taped the decal off. You can see a little bit of paint difference. I grabbed just some random Walmart red, grafted that in, body worked it a little bit, and it came out pretty fair. That's the door and cutout from my dually. the bed under my dually. I took the dually flares off, and it was just absolutely roached, so. Oh well. The butt cheek over here was super smashed in. There's a big dent there, and then a big gouge here. Straightened that out as much as I could. Left a sanding block in it, I guess. You know, I'm gonna end up raptor lining, not the rails again, but the inside here. We're trying to make him a nice straight bed. So we're using the bed floor and cab wall from my dually as well. Actually, these are from my dually as well, but yeah, these were all chassis savered, and then I did the raptor liner on them as well. Came out pretty good. You can see that's the chassis saver stuff I haven't gone over yet. Just trucking along. You know how it is. I'll show you the bed floor. I did raptor line underneath the bottom of the bed floor. We spent I don't know, probably a couple hours straightening dents out on this thing, trying to make it as good as possible. There's one spun bolt hole I'll have to mend, and then when it was in my dually, I had the batteries in the bed, whacked a couple holes in it for battery cables. So I have to shave those, I guess, but you know, just trucking along. So here's the rest of the truck. You know, it's in pretty fair shape. It's not rotten under the heater box yet, which is cool. Hopefully it never does. The military trucks are cool, much like the 73, which I thought was a 73 only thing. There's no drip sills from factory. You know, it's totally base stripper model truck. The interior's fair for what you'd expect a military truck to be, I guess. Nothing crazy. I mean, there's not even an interior light in this thing, you know, just super bare bones, which is cool, I think. Everything was just bombed red by the fire department, much like it was bombed green by whoever did the military stuff. So we went out and we picked up another grill. I gave him parts of my grill from my dually, new surrounds, gave him some chrome trim. We ended up finding him a hood that's much more straight. His was dented up on the ridge a bunch, and we can run a little factory hood ornament thing on it, so that's pretty cool. Old dually's been getting some parts stalled, but I got some early fenders. They're 80 fenders, so they got the upright marker light, which is nice. I actually found a whole 75 through 77 front end. So I'll need to get another core support, make another core support, which is annoying. I have an older bumper already. I got some shit set aside so that when time comes, I can nose swap it. I know I need a hood still, and it's really hard because all those hoods are just creased in half and junk. So I might have to bite the bullet and buy an aftermarket one, but I think the cowl panel might be different. I don't know that much about him yet. My buddy Cole and I did a little stepper notch back here. Stole some of my dad's chassis saver. Just cleaned it up. Still got to do the insides yet, but it's far from done. Ran out of welding wire, so still got to buzz the rest of that in. Still got to make fish plates. Still got to box that in, tie it into the inner rail. Shock mounts. That's not even the axle I'm running in this truck, so a lot of work to do there yet, but it's nice to actually get something done. So that was cool. That was a good weekend spent. Yeah, updates around here, kind of a little slow. I was sick for a while, but whatever, you know, shit happens. Yeah, so old Swamp Donkey, you guys remember the Swamp Donkey? She's been giving me a little bit of woes. Battery's always dead now. That's cool. I cut the bed off, named it Bop, welded my crane to it. Chassis broke. Big shocker there, right? Still using it. I actually think she's not long for life. Blew brakes in it entirely, and these things will only shift from park if they have brake pressure. Could not build brake pressure, so I ended up ripping the cable off the floor and Now with no brakes and no shifter, it's kind of pretty hard to drive. But yeah, I don't know. I think this thing might be out to pasture here soon. The old girl did me well, I can't lie, and it's a shame because it's my only 4-wheel drive and it does great, but the old swamp donkey, man, yeesh. That's all I got to say about that. Do have a little bit of rabbit updates. Admittedly, I haven't really touched it in far too long, but I will show you guys that. Embarrassingly, you can see how dusty this is. I did start keeping a blanket over it, but that doesn't stop what has already happened. If you watched my previous videos, you saw that I was having issues with the turbo and fitment. Well, a good friend of mine ended up sending me a pretty cool manifold. We don't really know what it's for. Maybe a longitudinal setup. I don't really know. We can't find another one online. You can see it's real close to the Speedo hole, but I don't want to poke a hole in the firewall for a Speedo anyway, so that's kind of okay. I'll just throw a plug in it. I believe a trans drain plug fits in it or something of the likes. So that's pretty neat. I should be able to work with that. I haven't really lost the drive on this yet. Hopefully I don't, but I just ended up taking a break from it. I'm not a big fan. Maybe it's just me. I really don't do well when I have to just buckle down and do one thing. Hence why the Jaguar never got done, or that, or everything else I fucking own. But yeah, it's nice to be able to screw around with that, and when it frustrates you, move on to something a little different, totally different. And then when that frustrates you, go back, start on that again. I think having two things to tinker on probably helps me a little bit, so I don't do any botched shitty work on whatever I am currently frustrated with. Volvo, you can see she's kind of sad. Ended up killing an injector or something on a cylinder. It was kind of running like ass, and then I killed first and second gear on the 717 manual trans, so that came out. Oh well, you know how it is. But yeah, that's been my quick little shop update. Soon I want to start hacking into that a little more. I want to get this a little further along. I'm not sure if I'm really gonna make much for video of it. I've been taking some photos and stuff like that, but whatever. But I will be plugging away at that again shortly here. I have some plans on how to hack up the interior a little bit, how I want to do the rear setup. You can see it's kind of just storage at the moment, but I got plans on how I want to do some of the rear setup, and I'll end up videoing all that and showing you guys that. So we'll see in time, but I guess that's that. So whatever. Thinking about trying to have some stickers made, probably by my buddy Phil. He does great work. If that's the case, I'll probably be trying to give some of them out. So if you want any, let me know. I don't know what I'm going to do for a design yet. I'm open for ideas. If anybody wants to let me know if they got an idea, whatever. I don't know. But let me know, I guess. A little more on the truck stuff, I guess. I can't leave you guys hanging telling you about a story on the truck screwing us over and not tell you. So a little more. I banged out the bed floor real quick. You can see there's little whoop-de-doos in it, but I guess we're kind of building a work truck. You can see the holes. Shaved the holes, painted underneath and the top. Did some epoxy primer before spraying it, so hopefully that should last. This Raptor liner stuff comes out pretty good. I'm kind of a fan of it. I've used it a bit on Beetle chassis and a lot of stuff I've done. Leaving the top wall red, tie the bed sides together, hopefully that comes out pretty good once it's assembled. Still got to do the inside of the beds yet, but I do have to actually strip these paint that red on both of them, and then I'll do that and reassemble. Got to clean those up. Got to get some stuff on the back of my weld there. Make sure that lasts for a while. But yeah, so about this crazy story. So this trip was kind of the trip from hell. It was supposed to be a real fast trip. Load up this Mark 6 I'm pulling down onto the trailer, put it behind the square body, rip home. I was flying in Friday night. Buddy Cole's with me. Only had to be to work Tuesday morning, you know, so it was a fast trip. Had to cover 1,200 miles real fast. So the flight landed at like 1 in the morning, maybe midnight. At 1 in the morning, get to the car that I am pulling to Florida, the Mark 6 TDI, get about 4 miles home, 4 miles towards home out of a 12-mile journey, get pulled over. Thanks, Lester PD. Driving with no license, which is bullshit. He even came to me and said, hey, you have an active license, but I don't know why you're not allowed to drive in the state of Massachusetts. Makes sense. My federal driver's database that covers all 48 continental states is good in 47 states, but not Massachusetts. Makes sense. Anyway, whatever. Made Buddy Cole drive home, which was intolerable. Kid can't see at night, so that was miserable. Next morning, we have Saturday to kill, leaving Saturday night. Have to put a hitch on the square body, have to put the Cummins in the bed of the square body, NV4500 that goes with it's going in the bed of the square body so we can pull it all down, and some random miscellaneous shit I've had at my old shop since. So, whatever, hit the road, end up trying to get to my buddy Walters. So rip down to my buddy Walters, get to him we ended up leaving at 2 in the morning, getting to him at, I don't even remember, 7 p.m. or something like that, whatever it was. Time for dinner, hang out a little bit, and then we passed out, trying to leave at 2 a.m. Leave at 2 a.m., worst fog I've ever seen. Right before you merge onto 77 near his house, south, heading towards 95, there's a gas station I usually stop at. Wanted to top off anyway. Get there, like I said, it's only like 5 miles from his house. Flat tire, passenger rear, fantastic. Call him. Luckily, he woke up, ripped down, brought me some tools, and said we could go swap his Excursion's spare rubber onto our wheels, since different bolt patterns. Perfect. Wrong size, but a 16. So I do that. Noticed it was kind of a boo-boo ass tire. It wasn't that good. Other tire that had gone flat was dry rot. So that was good. End up doing that, but swapping from the rear to the front. Since the rear's got a locker in it, I didn't want to screw up a rear axle. Whatever, it's not going to be in 4-wheel drive. Cool. Get on the road by 4. Supposed to be 2. Get on the road by 4, so that sucked. Drove till about 9 a.m. Get pulled over. Fucking awesome. Young dickhead cop. Pulled me over because I'm not wearing a seatbelt. Whatever, my bad. Gives me a ticket for it. Tells me all about how this truck's unsafe. If I get in an accident, I'm certainly dead. Whatever. Not but 10 miles after that, maybe, in Bowman, South Carolina. Go to pass somebody, get in the left lane, doing the speed limit. It's just a slow truck I'm passing. It was a semi. And I feel a whoop whoop in the steering wheel. Whoop whoop whoop. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I look over at my buddy Cole, look in the rear view, right as that passenger front tire that we had just put on, that I noticed was kind of shit, blows to smithereens. Losing a steer tire is kind of scary, especially with a loaded trailer, a bed full of shit, no trailer brakes. It was miserable. I tried to control it and ended up, long and short of it, kind of zigzagging down the road for a minute, which I'll post a photo of. You can see the marks in the road. And ended up 180 degrees backwards in a ditch on the wrong side of the highway. So I had to put it in 4-low, back it out, get it back onto the breakdown lane. A couple of firemen showed up. Apparently they were going the other way and saw it all happen. Very impressed that I kept it on the road, whatever. Went through a mile marker, street sign. Dickhead cop comes and charges us for that, whatever. Whatever. The Bowman Fire Department, the few guys that helped us out, absolute saints. I mean, what great guys. Absolute best dudes I've ever dealt with in a situation like this. Really, really awesome. They were super pumped on the truck because it was an old fire truck. They had a couple on their fleet still, apparently. Super cool dudes. One of them ended up giving us a ride to a local shop that had 2 used tires the same size as what was originally on the truck. So now it would be on 4, the same wheels and tires again. Perfect. Go there with the tire, or the wheel and the shredded tire.
Homeboys mounted up for me, like $40 or something, mounted. Sick. Offers me the other one. I said, I shouldn't need it, but, we're good. Get a ride back from the fire department. They let us use our impacts. They had some crazy hydraulic jack. You just push a button, picked it right up. A bunch of cool shit. Super, super, super cool guys. I get it all situated, right way on the highway. They shut down the highway so I could U-turn back onto the highway. That was cool. And one of the homeboy fire department dudes was like, hey, your passenger rear tire looks pretty low. You might want to fill it. I said, yes, I couldn't agree more. He said, well, you go up the road 4 miles, take a right, 1 mile down the road is a BP. You should fill it up. I said, all right, that was the plans, cool. Get to the BP, they take off, whatever. No air pump at the BP. I don't even think they were in business, but no air pump regardless. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. So end up merging back on the highway. The next gas station's in 8 miles. We get 2 miles into it, so now about 6 miles from where my blowout was. Boom! Passenger rear tire everywhere. Can't make this shit up. So I did the right thing, and I just hugged the breakdown lane, kept the passenger side wheels in the dirt so that I could drive on it and not ruin the wheel, figure out where I was going. Ended up finding a Pilot or a Love's or something right after you merge onto 95, about 11 miles. Got there, didn't realize it. I just wanted Wendy's. There was a Wendy's there. I wanted to eat, and I wanted to find a set of spare tires off somebody's square body, something to just get me home. Couldn't find anything on Marketplace, and I didn't realize it, but there was actually a tire shop on the other end of the parking lot, which was cool. Apparently, they really only did semis. They didn't have anything in stock, so I had to send them out to go get 4 brand new Z-Techs. They're 31s, LTs, and they're nice tires, but we can't use them. It's not really like what we're shooting for in this build, but they did get me home.
I ain't got no wheels up on my truck. I ain't got no wheels up on my truck. Flew in the road, now I'm out of luck.
They were $910 mounted and fetched, mounted and balanced. I had $950 in my pocket. So spent all that on those. That was cool. But finally did get on the road again. On top of all of it, I get home. Other than the tires, the truck did fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really couldn't complain. Terrible fuel mileage, but I was kind of beating the bag out of it for a 6.2, so it is what it is. I get home. I'm trying to show somebody like, man, this 6.2 just boom, cranks right up. First whack of the key, not even a full revolution. Like, all right, so I'm trying to show them. Go outside, click, click, click. Like, what the hell, man? Come on. Like, this has got to be, this has got to be a joke or something. So I just hold it in the run position, and then poof, smoke everywhere. Whole engine bay harness down to the starters, boiling out, burned up, on fire. That's cool. I like the truck. I did not feel bad taking it apart. Kind of deserved it, as far as I'm concerned. For a CUCV, it had pretty high miles. The 6.2 ran really, really good. I really don't think it's the stock one to this truck, but I can't tell. Most of these CUCVs you see have way low miles because they just never got used. This one had almost 100,000. It's 90-something, but I think I'm actually going to take the 6.2 and put it in the Jaguar. I'm going to get an NV 3500, little 5-speed. Try to swap it in there. They make Chevy 350 mount kits that bolt right to a 6.2, that bolt right into that. So they just hit anything or cut anything that gets in the way, really. I can't afford 606 stuff, really. I can't afford another rear sump setup to put a 606 back in that. So I'm just going to do what I can do, I guess, and that's that. I will not put an auto in it, especially that TH400. But I don't know. Maybe someday we'll get to that. You guys can see that. I would really like to see the car going again. The floors are getting real bad in it. I patched the floors in it 5 years ago or something, and just sitting in the dirt, it sits the floor pans right on the dirt, and they're absolutely rotten again. I think I just put them in raw metal and then just rattle canned them black, so I can't say I'm totally surprised, but I'd like to redo them anyway, as it wasn't my proudest work. I think it'll be a candidate for tubular outer structure, make a tunnel, bead roll some floors. You know, I think the car deserves it. You can see the ass panel down there is a little rotten, and it's got 2 exhaust holes in it from the factory pea shooters, but I'm undecided if I want to fix that or not. It's really the only exterior rot that you visibly pick up on. Not to say the car's not rotten, it's rotten, but you know, whatever. I guess that's that. Whatever. If you guys want to see more random shit like this, I guess just let me know. It's just a day in the life, I guess. Whatever. Thanks for watching. If you guys want, I'm going to work on a sticker thing, and when I do, I guess I'll start giving them out, whatever. But I'll need people to give me addresses. Not that I suggest doing that through the comments. We'll figure it out. But thanks for watching.